What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be switching gears. We're going to move on from the Firebird and we're going to jump onto my third gen Camaro. Now, I'm not really happy with the paint job on this car. It's really getting under my skin. I really want to repaint it, but at the same time, it's been so long I've been working on this car that I also really want to drive it. So I think my best bet is to throw it together, get it out there, drive it for a year or two, and then I'll repaint it later on. So what I'm going to be doing today is, let's turn you around. I looked over the car and I haven't touched it in so long that I had to think about what I had to get done. So I made myself a little list. Now, today I am going to temporarily put my console in and we're going to start trying to wire up some switches. I need to do my heat exchanger pump. I'm going to run that off of a switch and then my line lock. Now what I got and what I'm going to be using are these switches here from Summit. I got 3. I only need 2, but you never know. I might think of something else. I got this little USB charger. Kind of want to add that in the mix. Trying to do this with one hand. Pick this off of Amazon. There's a little fuse in there. Kind of want to add that in there. Got a ground distribution block and a factory 5-speed shift plate. Now this car was automatic and I converted it over. So the idea is I'm going to make a panel to go in, install all my switches. We're going to install this and then get it wired up. So far, this is what I've come up with. Pop my ashtray out. I traced it out on a piece of cardboard and made myself a template. Now when I get this to where I like it and it's fitting good, I'll then transfer it to some sheet metal that I have here. We'll cut it out. We are back with revision 3.0. As you can see, I ended up putting in my USB port and I eliminated a switch. Now this switch is not going to be used, and this switch I am going to use for my line lock. Now it has a little light, so I can eliminate this my mess of wires. But right here, this is the line lock momentary switch, and in here it comes with the fuse, inline fuse, and an indicator light. Oh, hold on. And this indicator light. So I figure I can bypass all that by having this switch with the light. So there's my indicator. I didn't want to use the momentary switch because I just didn't like the look of it and how it felt. So I installed a fuse block right here. And I pulled switch power from my fuse box, factory fuse box, and now I'll run a wire from this to directly to the USB port, and I'll get my power from my line lock from here to the switch, and this wire coming out the firewall is to the line lock. So this will go to the switch, and a wire from here will go to the switch. The line lock is already grounded to the body. And with the heat exchanger pump, what I ended up doing was, instead of running that on a switch, since I got this running on keyed power, I will now run a wire directly to here. So when I turn this on, my pump will automatically turn on. So there's no chance of me forgetting. We're going to start running our wires. As I said, the center switch will not be used, but it's there for, further growth. Here's an update on the switch wiring. I pretty much had it all set up, but I was wrong about the switches. These little lights, they're on constantly. So, excuse me, what I ended up doing was I ran another wire here, and we're gonna tie it into this wire together. Now this is the wire that goes directly to the line lock, and this wire runs here to this connector that I put on, and it has a ground. We're going to ground it, and what this is going to do is I am going to put a indicator light in the dashboard. Now I'll show you. That is the factory panel there. That's where the headlight switch goes, and that is where my indicator light is going to go, which is right here. It's a red LED light. I got this was a little like turn signal kit that I bought when I was gonna actually make the dash panel for the gauges. I opted to just buy it. We're pretty much done. I got the light wired in place. Everything seems to be working. I had to remove the little lever for the lights. Now if you guys haven't removed this before, it's kind of a pain. There's like a button way in down here. Now the easy way to get to it on these cars would be to remove the gauge panel. Now I didn't want to do that, so what I did was, you can kind of see that little button in there. I stuck a screwdriver in and played around with it. It took a while, but what I have here, I have a spare switch, so I can kind of give you guys an idea on how this works. Let me go to the bench. Now, as it sits in the car is like this. It connects at the top, and that button is at the bottom. Now, as I said, when you remove the dash panel for the gauges, there's a big hole on the side which gives you access to remove the connector and get underneath and press that button. In order to remove this, right, you want to pull your switch out to the on position, because if you got it in, you'll press the button, but as you can see, it'll lock up, and then the button will stay depressed. Now what you want to do is pull it all the way to the on position. Then you kind of press that button. Sometimes you got to push it in just a little bit, and then it'll pop right out. And to reattach it, you just put it in and it'll lock. Now, all I got left to do is pretty much reassemble my dash, but I'll show you everything working really quick. And now, in order to do this, it's simple. You got pretty much 2 T15 screws and then 2 little dummy screws to make it look like 4. But let's turn the key on. Here's my fuel pump priming. Okay, as you can see, there are my switches. I got power to the USB. This one is not connected, it's just there for further growth. Here's my switch. There's my indicator light. Now, I don't know if you heard the line lock and gauge, but it did. There's the indicator light. Also, if you can't hear it, I was going to wire my pump I don't know if you guys ever open these 3rd gen hoods. They're kind of funny. You can hear that. I now wired my pump to run with the key on. One thing I forgot to include about these 3-prong switches are, usually your ground prong will end up a different color, but that's not always the case. But you always have your ground, you have your power, and then you have your accessory. Now if your ground wire is in a different color, One way that you can find out if it's not labeled, you can get you a multimeter, set it to continuity. When it makes a noise, turn your switch on, and you can check, and you'll have continuity with the switch on. When you turn it off, nothing. Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this one, and thanks everybody for watching. All my Firebird people, I know you guys want to keep seeing the car, but I need to get this Camaro done, and I need to get it out of here to make space for the Firebird. But don't worry, the car will be back. I'm actually buying parts for it as we speak and just stocking up, so when I do bring it in, we can just go to town on it. But thanks again everybody for watching. I appreciate all of you. Hope to see you on the next one.